Up until the point that Thanos reared his big purple head in the MCU, there was no question of who the strongest being was. Thor might be a god, Captain America may be the perfect superhuman specimen, and Tony Stark might have a full arsenal powered by his genius behind him, but the MVP was always Hulk. He was enough of a big deal for S.H.I.E.L.D. to call him in, even when he was obviously way too volatile to be a viable option. Remember, they basically turned down Tony Stark because he couldn't be trusted, and enough of a threat for Ultron and Loki to identify him as a weapon to use against his teammates. Heck, We Have a Hulk might as well have been the ultimate mic drop in MCU history, and you don't get that without the big guy delivering on the words. So, it might come as something of a surprise to hear the suggestion that Bruce Banner might have actually died in the MCU. Even more so that he may have done it on 3 different occasions. After all, he was still alive to see Thanos click his fingers and wipe out half of existence, so what gives? Well, I'm Ash from That Film Theory, and this is how Bruce Banner dies 3 times in the MCU. The point here is that puny Banner and the Hulk have a symbiotic relationship that defies normal conventions. Not only are both sort of counted as hosts, hence the analogy of who is driving that comes up at times, but one is apparently mortal and the other isn't. At least, not as far as anyone seems to be able to tell. Sure, he might have been killed had Thanos' snap randomly picked him, but there's been nothing so far that's come close to killing him. He's jumped into the face of a planet-destroying demon, went nose to nose with a hellhound, and punched Thor like he was a ragdoll. Nothing leaves a mark. Even when he had his big green backside handed to him by Thanos on Thor's ship, he looks in distress, but he doesn't appear to be really injured. Thanos just makes him a punching bag. The point of that exchange is just to show that the Hulk cannot win despite his greatest feat being his strength, not that he'll die if it continues necessarily. But that doesn't seem to make sense with the point about him dying though, does it? How could he be invincible and have died at the same time? Well, let me explain. The key sequence to remember here is the tragic moment in the Avengers when Bruce tells Nick Fury that his plan to contain the Hulk using the cell Loki is imprisoned in would be completely pointless because attempting to kill him is fruitless. As he says himself, "In case you needed to kill me, but you can't, I know, I tried, I got low. I didn't see an end, so I put a bullet in my mouth, and the other guy spit it out. So I moved on. I focused on helping people." The inference there isn't that Banner was going to kill himself, but the Hulk intervened to stop it from happening. He literally says that he put a bullet in his mouth. He went through with his attempt at suicide despite not being in control of the wheel, as Banner later refers to it. Hulk still managed to resist the fatality of the shot. It wasn't just anger that provoked him to change, it was a post-mortem instinct to stay alive. In effect, Hulk brought Banner back to life, reversing what should have been a mortal wound. And that wasn't the only time it happened either. That was just the first time that Banner died. The second came in the sequel to that very movie. As Banner struggled with control of his inner demon after Scarlet Witch showed him the destructive power that turning the Hulk against his allies could mean, and refused to change into the Hulk, Black Widow did the only thing she could think of. She pushed him into the drilling pit under Sokovia that Ultron is using to turn the city into a meteor in order to force a transformation. If the result of that had been Banner had been overtaken by rage, hence the transformation, the Hulk would have arrived as he does in the first Avengers, as a quivering, barely in control ball of muscular rage. That reaction is very much an instinctive mirror of Banner's emotions, rather than a choice by the Hulk, in contrast to when Banner transforms willfully for the Battle of New York. Hulk doesn't arrive in berserker mode there because Banner is calm. So to take that point into the Ultron moment, Banner is pushed off the edge and Hulk jumps back out of the hole and smirks at Widow. No anger, no punishment, a smirk. That's because the thing that transforms Banner into Hulk this time is the same thing that did when he tried to kill himself. It was Hulk's invulnerability. Banner hit the floor and should have died, but Hulk revived him once more. And it happened again in Hulk's next appearance in the MCU too. After disappearing at the end of Age of Ultron to live in Fiji peacefully, Hulk ended up lost in outer space, and on a planet called Sakaar, where he was reunited with Thor and ended up helping overthrow an entire government in Thor Ragnarok. That film's deathly moment comes in the final act when Thor and the Asgardians are facing almost inevitable destruction at the hands of Hela's forces and Fenris Wolf. Acting the hero, Banner turns to Valkyrie as they watch above the action and delivers what amounts to a hero speech before leaping in to save the day. In one of the funniest moments in the MCU's entire run, he doesn't transform as intended and instead hits the Bifrost Bridge with a sickening thud that would definitely have been fatal to Banner. He's no more than a normal man. No augmentations, no superpowers in himself, no invulnerability. He's dead for all intents and purposes. But then Hulk revives him once again to make the save and kill Hela's giant pet dog. That's the third time he's transformed through death, and the third time Bruce Banner should be added to the MCU's In Memoriam section. And yet, he lives on. You have to consider at this point whether he can even be killed in any conventional sort of way. The creature undoubtedly feels pain, as Thanos proved, and he has his vulnerabilities, but everything we've seen so far suggests that he is virtually immortal. Even the steel trap designed to crush him if needed in the Avengers was probably going to cause no more than a bit of a headache or a transformation back into Bruce Banner. In the comics, the Hulk has been killed before, famously in Old Man Logan. Wolverine shreds him from the inside after letting himself be eaten, and Hulk's death during the Onslaught event was a key point. There have been other times too, but this being comic books, he's always come back in some form and has gone on to be considered the Immortal Hulk in a new guise that kicked off in 2018. Maybe Marvel are trying to tell us something with that title. Interestingly, the 2018 Immortal Hulk comic seemingly has similar ideas about Hulk's mortality. Kicking off with Bruce Banner's murder, it introduces a new idea to the Hulk mythology, reimagining his transformation as a sort of post-mortem zombification that traps Banner in a Groundhog Day-style loop. In this story, no matter how many times Banner is killed, the Hulk resurrects him. Because, as another character confirms, though Banner himself has died and can die, the Hulk cannot. Even after Banner's body dies, Hulk's identity rages on inside him, and is powerful enough to resurrect his host. It fits in with the way the MCU's Banner talks, as if Hulk is possessing him rather than simply sharing his body, like he's an infection, just as he would be if he was a zombie. Even more interestingly, the second issue of Immortal Hulk also suggests something that could work in the MCU too. Banner realizes that every time he's resurrected, he loses some of his intelligence and the Hulk gets more intelligent. Could this also account for the changes we've seen in the MCU's Hulk and Banner? Does he too lose intelligence every time he dies? Could that be why he fatally helps Tony Stark create Ultron, despite the obvious issues of playing God? Could that be why the Hulk is able to take control of him for so long for the events leading up to Thor Ragnarok? And how Hulk can defy Banner's attempts to call him into action in Infinity War? Are we seeing the MCU and the Immortal Hulk comics drawn closely together? So where do they go from here? How can they deal with a character who cannot die if the actor playing him might not want to continue playing him? It may well turn out that the Hulk ends up being killed off in a future MCU movie, perhaps by Thanos, perhaps by something else designed specifically to take him out. But this is all compelling evidence to suggest that he's already crossed over to the other side, at least temporarily, several times already. So even in his weakened state or at his most defiant, it looks like it'd take something really special to retire him permanently. Perhaps it will take something like Hulk choosing to die as a sacrifice to kill him permanently. Perhaps the thing keeping Banner alive is the will of Hulk to survive. He's a character who has been forced to live on the edges for so long. Other than his time in control of Banner's body during Thor Ragnarok, who fought for his right to be in that movie and who fought against Banner using him inhumanely in Infinity War. Perhaps that enduring spirit is what keeps him alive as much as his powers do. We know there's already been a hint that Hulk will be more intelligent in Avengers Endgame, and that Banner and his alter ego are likely to find a greater balance. So that could lead to a moment of epiphany for Hulk. If he's selfishly compelled to exist for himself, the natural end of his arc would fittingly see him realizing the value of altruism, even at the cost of being able to exist. And watching him and Banner realize together that there's no choice for them but to lay down their life without a resurrection to save everyone else, we get a satisfying conclusion to that arc and a means to explain how Hulk could die. For now, all we know is that he's pretty much invulnerable. At least if Banner ever has performance issues ever again and Hulk refuses to stand proud, all he needs to do is cause himself a fatal injury and all will be well again. So what do you think of this theory? Share your reactions below in the comments thread and don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. I've been Ash and this has been That Film Theory. Thanks for watching.
Well, that was a big steaming pile of fun, wasn't it? But how are you enjoying our new That Film Theory channel? We genuinely want to know. You see, we've been going for, well, a little while now, in fact, and in that time we've tackled how Odin gathered the Infinity Stones, how it explains The Shining, who's actually human at the end of the thing, and a lot more in between. But we want to do more. A lot more. Now, obviously, we've got a number of irons in the fire at the moment, but we want to give you the chance to help us make even more videos with even better theories. Yes, actual you sat there at home in the clothes. What are you talking about, Adam, you handsome idiot? Well, I hear you. Perhaps you recently saw our video on Freddy Krueger and whether or not he was, in fact, an alright dude. It looked a little bit like this.
So in the killing of Marge, Freddy does pick off one of the people who killed him. At the end of the day, that is a win for Freddy.
Well, small fact for you, that video actually came from our community. Kyle here, and this is an approximation of Kyle because we don't actually have a picture, emailed us with a theory, and we liked that theory so much we had him write a script, and that script became the video that you've seen. And we loved that. We absolutely loved putting that together, and in 2019 we want to work with you guys more. We want more videos, more theories, more writers, more editors, more presenters, more everything, more you. Yes, actual you. So if that sounds like your thing, then get us emailed. Why the hell not? thatfilmtheory@whatculture.com. Let us know your ideas, let us know what you'd like to do, and hey, who knows, we might get you on the channel sooner than you would believe. Until next time though, guys, I have, of course, been Adam Cleary, and I will see you soon. Maybe for real this time. Bye.